Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. We're just going to let the it fill up a little bit more, expecting a few more people to join us, and then I'll start. I have sent out the handouts and the slides, so hopefully you've got those in front of you, but we will be starting shortly. So we'll just wait for a few more people to join us, and then we'll get cracking. Hi everybody, welcome. My name's Adam Bicknell. I'm assistant head teacher at Holyport College. Thank you all for joining me this evening. Bit of a strange one. It's exactly a year ago I had to do this online for last year's year nines, so I'm a bit used to this. But thanks for joining. The aim of today is to really explain our curriculum offer to you. I'm going to try and answer some frequently asked questions, walk you through the process of signing up for your GCSEs, and then I'll open it up to some questions at the end. Just a bit of housekeeping before we get going. There is a chat function. I'm doing this on my own, so it's going to be quite hard to monitor the chat and do the presentation at the same time. So if I could ask you to hold any questions until the end, and then I'll bring them up on screen and I'll try and answer them as I go. It's really exciting, isn't it, to get back to a bit of normality. I'm really looking forward for the kids to start their GCSEs and we can get out of this situation that we're in. I know that some of the students are quite nervous, quite anxious. They've got lots of questions about their options, but hopefully by the end of this 15-20-minute presentation, I would have answered those for you, and you can all go into this with an informed decision. I'm going to bring up the slides in front of me. You have got them. I've sent out the slides and the handouts, so hopefully you've got those in front of you and you'll be able to follow as we go. So let's get cracking. So GCSE options at Holyport College, really exciting. We offer high value, high quality GCSEs. They're well respected. I think that they're all very strong GCSEs, and we wouldn't offer any sort of softer subjects. These subjects will enable our young people to go on to study any courses of further education. We are unashamedly academic, and by getting good grades in these high value qualifications, we firmly believe that students will be able to go on to study any course that they want to at college, sixth form, and hopefully take them on to university, apprenticeships, a world of work. But they will all of these GCSEs will provide a really strong foundation. So go for it. It sounds good. I put the newish GCSEs up here really for the oldies. They're not really that new in actual fact. They were introduced in 2015. This is our fourth cohort of going through the GCSE. So this is a little bit for the parents out there. We've sort of lost the letters, and we look at this numbering system. The new GCSEs were introduced to offer more challenge, more academic rigor. There's much less coursework than there was in the old GCSEs, and the grades are spread out a little bit more. In 2019, 4.5% of all grades given were level 9s, so it is achievable. We have got a young man in our year 13 that did achieve 10 9s. So our students are capable, they do really well, but we are looking at the numbering system. This is really just for the parents that are used to the old system like me. This is the offer. Okay, so these are all the subjects that you can study. On the left, we've got our compulsory subjects, and on the right, we have our open options. And I'm going to just talk through those and explain how that works. So English language, English literature, maths, and the 3 sciences are compulsory nationally. Everybody has to study those. I'll talk about science a little bit now. All of our students will study triple science, and then when they get to the end of year 10 and they do their trial, it may be that some students over into the trilogy science. You still study the 3 subjects, but the content, there isn't as much content, and you get 2 GCSEs. This is a decision made with the science teachers. It will be communicated with you, and it's a discussion at the end of year 10. Just to confirm that all students in year 10 will study the triple pathway. Option number 7, so GCSE 7, is a selection. It's Spanish or French. Most of you will pick the language that you've been doing through Key Stage 3. I'm not sure of any student that has changed at that point, but if that is you, we probably need to have a chat about that with the languages teachers. But it's Spanish or French. If you joined us in year 7, it's probably going to be Spanish. And if you joined us in year 9 and you were studying French, you're probably going to pick French. GCSE number 8 is the humanities option. So it's geography or history, and that really is down to whichever one you'd like to pick. It's important to note here, if you look across to the open subject, you can pick second language, and you can pick either geography or history. So you can study both of the humanities subjects. We'll move over to the open side of the diagram, the table, and we've got art, computer science, drama, the humanities option, music, PE, RS, Spanish or French. I've put Latin in brackets there. Latin is an optional GCSE, which would take you to 11, and that is studied during co-curricular by Mr. Walker leads upon that. So if you've done Latin in year 9 and you want to do that as an 11th GCSE, that is an option, and you indicate that on the options, which I will talk about in a minute. So now we're sort of going to get into the sort of frequently asked questions, I think, and the most commonly asked question is how do I decide what do I pick? And there's not really a simple answer to that, but I thought I'd just put up some ideas here and I discuss through them. You are going to have to pick 2 choices and 1 reserve. And whenever I speak to a student I was talking to some year 9 boarding students today, and these are the sort of bullet points I go through. These are the ideas I would go through with them. So the first one is, do you know the content of the subject? Hopefully the links that are included in the handout and the slides, and I'm also going to signpost those in this presentation, will take you to the specification pages, and within those specification pages you can find out what the content is within those GCSEs. Aptitude. Are you any good at it? I think sometimes we get away from this, and sometimes I hear quite a few parents putting pressure on their students to do the subjects they think they should do, rather than what you're quite good at. And at this level at GCSE, you've got to do the stuff you're quite interested in and you're quite good at. Third point is interest. You like it. You interested in that topic. It's quite hard to get through couple of subjects at GCSE if you're not particularly interested in it. So this is the first time in these young people's lives where they've been able to pick, and why not pick subjects that you're really interested in? Enjoyment is in there. I think it's important as well as interest and aptitude, but you've got to enjoy it. I loved art and PE when I was at school, and I was told to follow my heart. The best advice I had was from my PE teacher, and he said, do what you enjoy, and that really did result in me getting some really good GCSEs. The fifth point there is prerequisites, and some people know what they want to do. Some young people have got that end goal in sight. They know they want to go to university. They know which career they want to work in. They know which industry they'd like to go into. And that's really helpful, because then you can work backwards from that end goal. So you can look at the university course, see which A levels or vocational courses you need to get onto those, and then see which GCSEs are required. This is where our GCSE option really comes into play, because we offer really strong GCSEs. So most of the GCSEs that we offer will allow students to get onto the majority of A-level and vocational courses as they move forwards. Talk to people. Your teachers, they'll definitely give you some honest advice. You've got your tutors, there's people within boarding. I'm more than happy to speak to any student, but speak to us, okay? We go through this every year, and we can give you some really lovely advice. Parents, I'm sure you can throw your 2 pennies worth in, and I think over this week, and over Easter, it's probably a chance for you all to engage with the specifications and unpick some of the options available to you. Siblings, you may have brothers and sisters that have been through the process. You may have they might be able to give you some advice. They have learned some lessons, so speak to them. We've also got older students here, and that's probably a nice option to go and speak to them as well. I have put a bit of a no-no on here, and this is a classic one. Some students say, I really like doing this subject because the teacher is brilliant. And this is a bit of a dangerous game to play, because teachers come and go, and I've put on there, teachers change, subjects do not. So just be aware of that. We shouldn't be picking subjects because we really, really like that teacher. That teacher might not be teaching year 10 in that subject the following year. So just be aware of that. This is a really nice question. Are some courses better than others? All of our qualifications that we offer are of equal standard. They're all important, and it's all very individual, so they're important to different people. All of our students do study the English Baccalaureate, or commonly known as the EBAC, and this qualification it was set up by government. It's a group of core academic subjects that do proven to provide genuine opportunity for the students moving forwards. So they're high value GCSEs, and they are the 8 compulsory subjects that we offer at the college. So those 8 on that left side of that column make up the EBAC. We're really proud of that at this school. We enter about 80% of our students for the EBAC against the backdrop of the national picture, which is around 50%. So we are ahead of the game in that. And it's really good for our students. It will provide them with genuine opportunity, and the likelihood is they'll be able to study whichever course they want to as they move into further education. The last point there is about the vocational courses, and we do get this question quite a bit. Why do we not offer BTEC media studies? Why do we not offer these other subjects? And there's lots of reasons why. One is that we're quite a small school, and it's hard to offer this vast, wide range of subjects. We haven't got the teachers or the money to provide that. But we also value these academic subjects, and we're unashamedly academic, and that is Holyport College. we have got balance in the subject. There are the arts subjects. You can do PE. There is drama. There's music. So that's one thing I would say to any student listening. Have you got that when you pick your GCSEs? Have you got balance? This question came up quite a bit early on when the school first opened. We had a lot of before we had students going to university. Lots of parents would say, "Will these GCSEs get my child into university?" Our first cohort of GCSE students are now just about to finish year 2 of their university careers, and they're all really successful. The majority of our sixth form students their first or choice options based upon their GCSE grades. So it is tried and tested. We know it works. These high value, high quality qualifications will get you to where you need to go. We have students going to a range of different types of universities. They go to colleges, the full spectrum of further education. So there were a few questions there. I'm sure there might be a few more, and I just keep those to yourself for the minute, and I will open the forum up just up after I've gone through the process. This really is how are you meant to do it? So you're going to receive an invitation on the 30th of April. I'm doing this quite a way in advance. So you've got a couple of weeks. You've got all of Easter to have a chat about this. We've got a week and a half left at school where you can speak to your teachers about what do you think, is this a good option for me? And I would definitely think about doing that with your teachers. You can get the email. It's going to come to the students. They would activate their options online. I'm going to show you what that looks like in a minute. What's quite nice about this process, parents, is that the students have to do all the legwork, and they click a box to say they've done that. And then all you need to do is just check that what you've discussed with them is right, and you just approve it. So you haven't got to do too much. So students, part of you becoming more independent and growing up a little bit is that you have to drive most of this process. On occasion, there are clashes with GCSE options. It hasn't happened for the last 2 years. So our open option, your 2 option subjects is completely, you can have any combination of those 2. The reason we ask for a reserve is just in case there is a clash. As I said, it hasn't happened for the last 2 years. Touch wood, it's not going to happen this year. But if it does, I promise that I will contact the student and you as the parents to discuss the other options. But fingers crossed that won't happen. So if you look at that, you've got a week window there to open up your online form and then get your selections made. This is what the form looks like. So just at the top here, it says this page allows you to make your GCSE choices. Some subjects are compulsory at GCSE. These are English, maths and science. So we said your first 6 GCSEs are picked for you, so you don't have to do anything. This is then the humanities box here, and I've just lifted this off one that was already completed from last year. So if you look at this student here, they have selected to study geography. And then go down to their languages box, which is GCSE number 8, and they have selected Spanish. And then we've got all of the open option choices in the bottom box here. So this student has picked PE. What a great subject, close to my heart. Well done, whoever this was. Their second GCSE was history. Again, you can see that they picked geography as their first humanities, and then they've selected history as their 10th GCSE, but it would be their second humanities subject, and then they've put RS as their reserve. And it all comes up on the right hand side, and we can see that they're all correct. Now, if you were to scroll down on this, which I can't here, there would be just a box for the student to click to say, these are my selections, I'm happy. And then the next box down would be the parental box. Now, we did mention Latin earlier. If you'll see that Latin's not on there. If you are one of those students here and you're thinking, well, I want to do Latin as an 11th GCSE, there is a comment box where you can put, please, can you put me in for Latin as well? You can also come and speak to me, and I'll make sure that you're put down on the list. So Latin is an option, but you just need to type that in the comment box. Just to close up really from the presentation, I just want to signpost a few things for you. I'm just going to bring myself up on screen. I'm not. Yeah, so I just want to signpost a few things. You've got the options booklet there. All the information's in there. Each heading in the options booklet, as you go through, clicks to our curriculum guides, and I'm going to show you what they look like now. There is one typo in that thing I sent you, and in the table on the one of the first 2 pages, I've missed computer science off, but the information is later on in there, so I do apologise about that, but computer science is, of course, an option. These are our curriculum guides, and this is the website, sorry, and I'm going to show you how to get to the curriculum guides. So if you go onto the school website and you go to the menu here, you click on the menu, and then it'll bring up the main menu for all the different places you can go to on the website. If you go to the curriculum page and you click on that one there, then it brings up all of the subjects. I've selected art, and I'm going to show you what's in art. And this brings up the art curriculum page on the website. Now, lovely design. You scroll down, if you scroll down to the bottom, it brings up this PDF player, and you can click on that, and it will bring up the art curriculum document page. And every subject has one of these. You can go through all of the GCSEs. And the joy of doing this is that you can actually get into there and you can have a real deep look at, there's obviously a narrative to explain what's involved in the Year 10 art curriculum, and then it will tell you exactly what you are studying. So if you're unsure about what's involved in history, and I've got a really good story about history actually. A student really liked medieval history, and they picked history, started studying it, and realised that medieval history wasn't included in the history curriculum. So it's worth having a double check about what it is you're actually going to be studying, because some of the topics you've done in Key Stage 3 may not feature as you get to Key Stage 4. So that's the art one. If you just have, if at the bottom of each of the tables in the Year 11 one, I'm just highlighting it here. If you click on that, it will take you to the exam board specification, and there you will find the actual details of what we as a school have to deliver, and that's really quite interesting as well. So you've got handbook, you've got the so you've got links in there to the curriculum pages, and then you can go on the website and also look at them. So I'm going to open up for questions. I think here. So if you have got a question and you think it's worth asking, you're more than welcome to post that in there, and I can bring them up on the screen. That's quite a good question. So I'll bring this one up here. So thanks for this. Which subjects have trips planned? History, geography. So as part of the geography curriculum, they do have to do field work, and that's planned. That's an annual thing that happens. History, I know 2 years ago, I think they did go to Auschwitz and went over there. I'm not sure if there's anything planned yet. I lead upon the trips at the moment, and after the last year, everything's been quite quiet. But I know after Easter, we're going to get our heads together and start putting trips on there. Ski trip. I didn't mention the ski trip, but we might do the ski trip again. So there are trips involved with some of those, but I will be able to publish those after Easter. Thanks for that. What have we got here? That one. So can we take German instead of French for Spanish? I've heard about it somewhere. You can take an addition. So in the booklet, I did say some students take 11 or 12 GCSEs. So you can't take German instead of French and Spanish, but you can do it in addition to. Mr. Boyle is actually fluent in German, and he has when we were in our first couple of years, he did take a few students through the German GCSE. So if it is something you're interested in, or you want to look at, come and speak to me about that, and we can see what we can do. Okay, so it's not in addition. It's in addition to French and Spanish, not as an additional. Let's get rid of that one. What else have we got? So Harrison's put, what happens if the GCSE is full? Can you drop subjects? So a GCSE, the pleasure of coming to Holyport College is we don't really get full GCSEs. We will run the GCSEs with whatever numbers we got. So that's why when we get the numbers in from you, we can then look at our staffing and see if we need to bring extra staff in. So there would never be a full GCSE. Dropping subject is an interesting one. We tend most, just like the language, we're very proud of our languages. Everybody finishes all of their GCSEs. Now, when it gets to the year 11 mocks, which are done in December, it's my job to sit down with those students that maybe are looking at, like, they're struggling in the core subjects, your English, your maths, your science. Is it an option? Would it be beneficial to drop an option subject to ensure that you get the grades in those core subjects? So, Harrison, I think the answer to that is no. You can't drop subjects until after your year 11 mocks. It might be useful, it might not, but we tend really not to let anybody drop. Dylan, what if choose a different language? Would that be an extra option beyond the 11 different language? So there are lots of different languages, and we can speak to the Modern Foreign Languages Department about them. You can do it in addition. You would do it in your own time, but that's something you can come and speak to me about. So you can do additional languages, but it would be done in your own time. Let's just have a look through these. I've got loads coming in. So Zafar's asked quite a good question there. What if you get a low grade in the subject you want to take? So I presume you're saying in year 9, I'm not getting a very good grade, but I really want to take it at GCSE. This is where you need to go and speak to your teachers. So if I was to speak honestly about some of the subjects, history is one of those subjects where the students really like it. And it's got a lot of content, and it is really, really tough at GCSE. Some students take it because they like it, and then they get involved with it, and it is quite hard. So go and speak to your teachers. All right, Zafar, that's the best thing you can do. They're very honest. Go and have a chat with them. Sam, let's see, what have you put? How is it decided if you move to Trilogy Science? Is it a choice, or are you moved by the teacher? That's a really good question, and it is probably one of the most controversial decisions. Science one, Mrs. Dawson is very good at that, and usually the decision is done in agreement with you and your parents. But often it's to ensure that you secure the highest possible grade. I think looking at this, I know that sets 1 and 2 mainly all stick with triple science, and then set 3s, I think it goes to about 50-50. Some jump down, some stay where there are. So it's definitely a conversation, and it's like that we talk you through the process to explain what effect that will have on your grades. Okay, so that's something to talk about at the end of year 10. All right, Josh. So what would you recommend, geography or history? Josh, I studied geography, but now at my age, I don't know, as I've got older, I really like history for some reason. So I would probably study history now. At the time, I didn't really like the history department, and I picked geography for that reason, which I've just told you not to. They're both very good. I would go and speak to the teachers. History has a lot of content. That's all I would say. Just be aware that history, since they brought the new GCSEs in, there's a lot of content, and they don't have a tiered entry like some of the other subjects. So there isn't a foundation or a higher. You all have to sit the same paper. So I would speak to your history teachers about that. Tegan, does it matter if you choose history, geography as your first, and the other does? No, it doesn't matter at all, Tegan. Absolutely not. Your teacher might see which one you pick first, but I don't think it'll have an impact at all. Okay. Someone's put, what is the expected grades for the GCSEs? I'm not sure what that means. This is a really good question, Aaron. Thanks for asking this. We do different subjects do produce texts. I think what I might, this is a really good question. I think what I might do is pull together what the revision textbooks and stuff that parents can purchase to support the learning, so it's all in one area. What I will do is, as you start year 10, we have a welcome to GCSE meeting, a bit like this. Hopefully we can do it in person, and there I will talk to parents about how you can support your sons and daughters through their GCSEs. Aaron, that's a really good. You can speak to your teachers; they'll give you reams and reams and lists of the books you can get. But I might pull that together, and I'll make a note of that. Thanks, that's a really good question. But you can speak to your teachers. Um, this is something that comes up quite a lot actually. What is the top mark of GCSE? GCSE do you get to pass? Now, there'll be parents on hopefully listening that the old pass of BT, that BT borderline, was a pass. If you got a C, you passed. If you got a D, you didn't pass. New money, you could say that if you get a 4, you've passed, and if a 3, you didn't. And that doesn't really exist apart from maths. Maths is the only subject where to pass you have to get a 4. If you get a 3, you'd sit it again the year after. So that's why we put loads of effort into getting that 4 in maths. All your other subjects, it's dependent on what you want to go on to do. So if you want to study A levels at Holyport College, you have to get certain grades. So I think they all change for different subjects. I know for the sciences it's 7s. I teach A level PE. I know you have to get a 6 or above for GCSE PE. So that's where I said check the prerequisites, check what you need to go on to do your courses. You can get onto vocational courses at college with 2s and 3s. Okay, they just. I like to use the term keys. GCSEs, good GCSEs open up doors. They're like keys. They open up lots of doors. The better grades you get in the stronger subjects, the more doors it opens. So you just need to get the best possible grades you can get, but have a check at what you want to go on to do as well. All right, and I'm happy to talk to people a bit further about grades if they want to. Nor, what grade do you need to have to be eligible for higher papers? Nor, I don't actually know that answer. I believe you're speaking about maths. They do a higher paper. Languages do have tiered entry, and science have tiered entry. I would speak to your teachers and they'll be able to tell you where they think you'd be at or when they make those decisions, okay? Can we choose more than 2 subjects for option subjects? So you actually have 2 and you pick a reserve. You can't pick more than you won't be able to do more because you can only get 10 lessons into the timetable. So I had a conversation with a parent last year who wanted their son or daughter to do 11 within the timetable. There aren't enough lessons to deliver that many extra options. So it's 2, and then you can pick a reserve. Latin's done in addition, so you would do that in co-curricular. And as we've said, you could also do the language on your own as well. So Josh, you're talking about going to university. There's a question there about going to university. I would. There's hundreds of universities and there's lots of different entry requirements. So I would do a bit of digging. Come and have a chat with me. Mr. Hardy's very good to speak to about that. So we can look at different ways you can get into university, and we will talk about that. Here's a question about what subjects do you have to pass for sixth form? It's a really good question. It isn't really, you don't really have to pass subjects to get to it. It depends what you want to do. Again, this is where you need to do a little bit of digging. You and your parents need to sit and go on the school website. Look at the entry requirements for the sixth form. There's a sixth form page, and each subject will have what grades you need to be able to study that subject at our sixth form. Our sixth form is extremely academic. There are other sixth forms where the entry requirements may be a bit lower. I spoke to a student who went on to BCA. He's now a high ropes climbing instructor. He did really well in his GCSEs. He got 3s and 4s. He then went to BCA and he's done climbing, and he's doing really, really well. He did well enough for him. The keys that he got opened up those doors, and he's doing really well. So I would go and have a look at what the requirements are for the courses you want to do. Thanks, Sally, for this. This before the new specifications, we would enter some of our linguists early, and we would try and get some kids in year 10. What they've done is they've said you can still do that, but the child has to take the grade they got first. So you can't. There was a little bit of a game being played sometimes where you would chance your arm with some of your languages students, put them in year 10, see if they could get an A or an A star. and then bank that, and then they could forget doing the language for the second year and maybe pick up a different GCSE or focus on something else. What they've now said is that you would have to take that grade. So it puts quite a bit of pressure on a year 10 to perform. If they're not happy with their grade, they'd then want to have another go, but they wouldn't be allowed to use that grade. So we don't do that now, no, because of those reasons. Harrison, there's a question about PE. Speak to your PE teachers. There's a lot about PE. You can do snowboarding. So thanks, Catherine, for your question about coursework. No, that sort of PE is my subject, so I know that it used to be, before the new GCSEs, it was 60%. It was 60% practical, 40% theory. What they've done with the new specification is they've flipped that round now, so it's 40% practical, 60% theory. And they did that with a lot of the practical subjects. They put a bit more weighting on the theoretical element than the practical element. Geography still carries a little bit of coursework as well, but majority are examination based. Before I got on here, I was trying to add up how many exams some kids do with 10 GCSEs, and it's in around the 23 to 24 exams in a 4-week window. So it went from 10 to 12 GCSE exams to 22, 24 exams. So there's definitely a bigger weighting on the examinations. So Josh, is there anyone we can go to and talk about our GCSE for some advice? So we've got layers of support at the college. I'm not sure, Josh, who your tutor is, but all the teachers, all the staff at school will give you some brilliant advice. Come and speak to me, speak to some of the sixth formers. More than happy to help you with that. Start with your tutor or a member of staff that you can speak to. Sometimes not everybody gets on with their tutor. So I would maybe speak to anybody you trust at the college. We're very, very honest. We do have some careers advisors, and you will start to gain exposure to those as we start to look at further education as well. Someone's put, what subjects do you have to take again if you fail? The only one that you would probably have to do again is maths if you've got below a 4, and there's quite a few students do that. But all the others you wouldn't have to. As I said, there isn't a pass-fail grade. It might be that you want to resit or take another exam if you weren't happy with your grade. Computer science. Do you know if computer science is a 100% exam? There is a piece of coursework in computer science. I can't actually tell you the percentage of that. I don't know, but I can find out. I would speak to Mr. Proctor. But there is a piece of coursework involved with computer science. I'm not sure what the weighting to that is. It may just be a requirement of the course, and it doesn't carry a weighting that they have to do it, and it is pass-fail. But I can find out for you, Catherine, if you'd like me to get back to you with that. I'm more than happy to ask Mr. Proctor for you, so I can do that for you. The questions seem to have slowed down. That's been nearly 40 minutes. If there aren't any more, we'll leave it there. So I just want to close by saying thank you very much for joining me. You may have joined later because it is being recorded, so this is going to be there for a while, so you can go back and refer to it. Students, I will speak to you at school about this as well. We will go over this. You've asked some really, really good questions there, but we will do this together in the canteen before Friday. Parents, if you've got any more questions or concerns, feel free to get in touch with the teachers at school. Contact myself. We're here to support you. We have got time, all right? So there's no rush with this. As we said, with the online form goes live 30th of April. And then decisions don't need to be made till the 7th of May. So take your time, go into this informed. You've asked some really good questions. Use the stuff I've given you. Use the curriculum guides, and make the best decisions you can. All right. So take care. Have a lovely evening, and students, I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.